How many of us have them friends?
9 to 5.
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 Shit, back in the day.
Yeah.
Come on, poster holder. I don't know. Got a fucking problem or something?
No, I was just curious.
Or yeah,
I can ask
maybe you
questions
need to.
about your
Maybe you need to.
surroundings. Why are you so
maybe you need to stop
combative? Did
asking
you get
fucking
chicken?
questions.
Did you get chicken Alfredo for Valentine's Day? Are you upset right now? What's happening?
You know, I was gonna make a joke, but you know what? I'm gonna just. This is not.
Chill, bloodbath.
Hey. Absolutely not.
This is thy 160th edition of thy 9 to podcast.
9 to podcast.
Huh?
You said
9 to
9
5.
to podcast.
Oh, thy
You said
9th
name of
to
the
5th podcast.
9th to 5th.
It's this thy podcast is about thy work and thy balancing it all. I am your host, Daniel.
That is.
We need to go over these in pre-production from now on and approve or deny. You got
It wouldn't be
Kyle here.
funny. It wouldn't be funny if I just told y'all what I was gonna do.
It's actually worse that you didn't. And Torrance is here.
I'm trying to be super professional now since we were just being unprofessional. Follow us on thy Twitter and thy Instagram at 9 to 5 at 9 to 5 podcast with an S. Give us perfect 5-star ratings, or else I'll be extremely offended and I'll make you babysit my dog for 3 days at a time, and he has a lot of health conditions.
That's a prison sentence. That's dangerous.
It's the health scares
Jamal
alone.
got daily medication.
Yeah, we have, old people have those little like Sunday through Saturday.
The little
Plastic
snap
little
things,
weekly pill containers.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's a Jamal guy. But yeah, give us 5-star ratings and all that kind of shit. Views expressed in this podcast are our own and not any dog breeders or Instagram followers. Co-hosts, how are we doing?
Chilling. It's a long weekend. No work.
Nice
tomorrow.
long
I'm
weekend
happy.
when this comes out. Hopefully you're not working today when this comes out. If so, you are a slave to the man.
Right? That 9 to 5 shit. I don't know how y'all do it.
I have no idea how y'all do it because I personally don't do it.
I feel you. Also, before I go any further, I did. One of my coworkers was like, "You have a podcast, right?" Black coworker. I said, "Yeah, we're cool." So I sent her the link.
Yeah.
So if you are listening, remember, anything I say on this podcast, don't share it with the white folks at work. I'd like to keep my job and not get fired. Thank you.
Because honestly, that alone is a hate crime, ma'am. So don't do that.
Please do not risk Kyle's.
Don't disrespect
Yeah.
us all.
I got bills. I got a dog to feed.
But you can follow Kyle on his Parler account where you can get.
Oh my gosh!
Kyle definitely has a Parler account
If
somewhere.
anybody has one, it's you, Clarence Thomas.
No, I do not have a Parler account. Kyle
You definitely have a Parler
definitely has
account.
a Parler
You
account.
Definitely on there.
Kyle is partially like racist. Those
Danny,
racist
if you go on your app store right now and type in Parler, would
There's
it?
no
Oh
way.
no, it's gone from the app store anyway. Never mind. You know how it shows that like formerly downloaded symbol?
Yeah.
Your shit would have been
Okay.
there.
Kyle's not
Let's see
even
your
fully
Apple
black.
library.
Kyle doesn't even like. Let me. You know what? Forget this.
Danny, I heard there were plans for you to drive from Chicago to DC on January 6th.
Kyle, stop.
I saw the checklist. I saw your packet list.
Kyle, please.
Ashley was ready to turn you in.
You don't even like black people that much. Stop. Okay?
They're so mid, right?
You tolerate us, but you don't really appreciate us in our culture.
You caught me.
Oh
Kyle
shit!
definitely is. Whenever he
Wow.
goes to like apply for a job and they say race, he says interracial. He says other. He doesn't put black.
Other.
It's like, okay, dude. Sure, Kyle.
Nah,
Anywho,
He writes
Nah,
in.
you gotta be
You said
black.
he writes in. You said he writes in interracial. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
I want a TikTok of that so
No,
bad.
no breakdown. No breakdown, just interracial.
I need that so bad.
Honestly, though, that would really make sense though, because no one likes, and like, other than maybe vegans, no one likes announcing themselves and who they are more than interracial people.
Oh yeah, right. Oh, 100%.
Shit, while we're here,
Big Lotto.
while we're here in the month of Black History Month, I just have to say this. I tweeted it the other day, but to all these advertising companies out here, these creative agencies, I want y'all to free yourselves from the shackles of forcing these interracial families upon us in all these goddamn car commercials. I'm tired of it. I'm sick and tired of it.
I feel bad for saying this because I believe in this person and their work, and I think that everything that they've created so far has been fantastic. This also goes for Shonda Rhimes. Please stop making everybody interracial. It's stressing me the fuck out because
y'all are racist.
How is that racist? I need some black love, some black on black love.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying Black History Month, that's all.
The only good black love couple is from fucking, like, what's it called? This Is Us. And that's the only thing. But that
on
and
TV?
what's the other one? Blackish.
I can't go that far.
Blackish and This Is Us. I mean, that's current.
They're not interracial and Blackish.
No,
I'm saying that's not interracial.
Oh, okay.
It's not interracial. What is This Is Us? Blackish.
Are you talking about like on network TV essentially?
Yeah, like kind of like
He's talking about network,
like relationships that are working. That's what I'm saying.
I'd have to think about
that
it.
That are flourishing. Exactly.
You
have to think about it for a second, and I hate it.
You also have to think. You have to think about interracial.
I have to think about it for most couples, honestly, on TV right now. I couldn't think off the top of my head.
Let's just say you're racist, Torrance. How about that?
I pay attention.
I feel like let's check Torrance's Parler account as well while we talk about the Black History fact of the day.
Yes, February 16th in 1958, famous rapper turned actor Ice-T was born.
Ice-T. Me and my wife Coco.
Also, while we're here in Black History, shout out to my grandmother. She don't listen to this podcast, but it's her 94th birthday tomorrow on the 15th.
Hey,
shout
94.
Grandmas.
Yeah, so shout out to Black grandmas.
I always think about that, about how we meet our like grandparents later in life, and they've lived like 60 years prior to our even existence, and how like how I would have wanted to just be like have those conversations. Like my aunt, my great aunt, who was literally like a grandmother for like raised my mom and all this, like helped raise my mom and all this stuff. She passed when she was like in like close to 90. She was 89 and was turning 90. And I was just like, man, I came into your life when you were in your 70s. So you literally had like 70 years of living, existing life experiences, all this stuff. And I always, now as an adult, I'm sort of wondering and sitting here like, I wish I would have had that sort of exposure, even that cognizance at that time, before she passed, to even ask those questions like, so what were you like in your 40s and your 50s? Like, you know what I mean? Like asking like what.
That's definitely something like I wish I had with my this is my last surviving grandparent, and she's like past the point of being able to have those mental conversations anyway. Like her memory's shot essentially, so I can't even have those conversations with her, but it's inspired me to want to have more of those conversations with my parents.
Oh yeah,
as they age too, since they're older baby boomers. But like you're saying, it's really important to kind of make sure if you do have some older people in your family, have those like family history conversations with them. Try to record them if you can, or write them down, because it's so important. Like you don't want to lose that family history. And if COVID is showing you anything, people can go at any day. So if you're able to reach out to some of those older statespeople in your family and get some of those oral traditions handed down.
Especially Black folk. And now I'm officially depressed and crying. But let's move on to Torrance Weekly News Update.
All right. This one I'm gonna go in on this, and I do apologize if
This is
I
definitely
I don't apologize. Let me rewind that. I do not apologize for anything I'm probably gonna say in this moment.
Okay. So, so Stanley, you're not apologizing. We're gonna stand on. We're gonna start.
We're
that
choosing
way.
violence consistently. I said
this is also what Torrance and Kyla said.
We ain't never
I'm
getting
not
invited back
liable.
for a homecoming pod, huh?
we are never being invited.
No.
Be very clear. So Elon School of Education decided to have and host a whites only Elon White Caucus. In the whites only caucus, the point of it was to discuss ways for them to dismantle racism within, I guess, Elon's community, I guess. Part of attending the caucus is that they had to agree to not discuss anything that they talked about in the meeting outside of that meeting.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that is a Klan meeting, and I don't feel any kind of way about saying
Alamance
that.
County, North Carolina.
I'm about to say Alamance County's Klan is going strong from what I understand. And I feel some kind of way about it. It's really pissing me off because it's a school of education. Like the school of education.
They've been doing
education.
They've been doing these since the fall too. That's the other part.
Never.
It's like no one just knew about it.
No one knew about it. No one knew about it until some white person snitched.
Also, for the first time listeners, we all went to Elon University.
We all went to Elon.
Yeah. If you're watching video, Danny and Torrance are actually wearing Elon paraphernalia right now. They did not pass the message to me. So I'm not wearing nothing from Elon.
As
Actually,
black
I think
students,
I have an Elon sweatshirt, honestly.
As black alumni, I think we hold Elon in a little bit of a different lens than you do, Kyle.
Hey yo, you gotta stop. You gotta stop this, please. Cause that
You know what? I'm gonna let you have that today, Daigle.
That was actually very that was good, Danny.
You got it.
No, all right. So my hot take on this is that I don't give a fuck of enough to really be upset about it. I think that after reading it, I think they meant well, but I think they tried to look at this. That's what I'm saying. I think they tried to self-regulate as a lot of black folks. A lot of us tend to say it's not our responsibility to educate you with what you're not doing. So as long as it wasn't coming from a place of malice, but it came from a place of like a lack of execution, I can respect you for doing that. Was it the right thing to do? Probably not.
My problem is how in what way does having a caucus to dismantle racism require an NDA? What non-disclosure? You know what? I want to hear your Republican response.
So
that's not.
I don't have one. I'm kind of with Danny here. I think that on the basis, I think it was well intentioned. I think it was executed horribly, and a lot of planning decisions that they made were completely off. So having this, like, I don't think they actually had to sign an NDA. It was probably like a community agreement at the beginning of the meeting or whatever. But I think that creates the wrong environment, because then you have people who can go up there and say whatever the fuck they want to say, and then there's no potential repercussions of that falling back on them. I think that goes beyond creating a potential safety net. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that there just needs to be a safety net for people. Like, if you're scared, don't fucking go to the meeting. It's not a compulsory meeting. People weren't forced to go to this shit. So if you're there, you want to be there for a reason to discuss things. So one, I don't think that black students or person of color students should have been barred from going to this meeting. I think it's great if you have white people lead these discussions, but then you're having a bunch of white people talk about race, and a lot of shit could go wrong, and a lot of wrong things could be said. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that it would have been helpful if they did have black people there who, if they wanted to, if they were so moved, they could raise their hand and say a point, you know what I'm saying? But they're not being looked to lead the meeting or anything like that. So I think on its face, very well intentioned, just horribly,
Very well
horribly,
intentioned.
horribly executed. Well intentioned in the fact that white people are trying to do something that's not leaning on black people to do the work. In terms of that,
I
at a
think
base
the headline,
level, well intentioned.
the headlines made it seem, because at first I was like, what the fuck? And the headlines made it seem like it was pretty much a Klan rally, whites only meeting about issues on campus. But I could easily picture this being a bunch of like liberal, short haircut people from Maine and all that kind of shit going into a room and maybe not being exposed to a lot of people of color or black people, and maybe having some rough around the edges, like views or
Thoughts.
experiences, but like mean well and want to get better.
Like
And
I doubt
think
that
that's
it's a bunch of
hard.
the racist kids from KA showing
Right, that's what I'm
up.
saying. And I could see that how hard that could be to potentially, once you bring in everybody from all spectrums or whatever. Sometimes when people are ignorant, sometimes you just need to get your ignorance out to be
With
educated.
other ignorant people, you're saying.
No, Storm, I mean,
I'm asking. No, I'm saying you're saying that in a space like that, it's when you're in
what I'm saying is if I don't like, if I lack the knowledge to be as uplift or as inclusive as possible, I would be maybe scared or intimidated to truly share my ignorance amongst people who
sharing ignorance could even be asking a question.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, I'm not saying, I wasn't saying it in a way of like, oh, like around other people who may share similar ignorances, right? Like who aren't going to.
But it's different. Hold on, it's different when all right, there's maybe 10 kids that are kind of like unsure and trying to figure out the best way to be better, and then you might have a white person who has gone through that training and gone through that knowledge where they can at least be the North Star in that conversation. I don't think, and I would hope that it wasn't a bunch of like kids like saying wild, reckless shit and just like, whatever. I would assume that there were some levels of ignorance and education with this shit in that conversation, that I would hope that those kids that didn't feel as equipped to or comfortable to ask those questions were then allowed to, similar to when you have someone that looks like you or maybe came from that same position. I could see in theory how that is a way more productive environment to at least start the conversation
in a sense.
Yes, a safe space rather than me as a white kid who might be from whatever bumfuck Kentucky but wants to do better, talking in front of 6 alphas about like, well, what if I try this, and us being like, you fucking white boy, like get the fuck out of here. Like I could we're not saying we would be that rude, but like the same face you're giving now, you would give that white boy that same face. And I think that can be intimidating to people that are trying to step up to the plate and be better at the end of the day. If they didn't go about it the best way possible, then at that point I feel like, yeah, we can give advising the better way to do it. But so often
you're saying that
black folk,
go ahead, I'll let you finish.
So often I see black folk get frustrated about white people asking them for help in these situations. So I think they took that, and similar to how people on the LGBTQ spectrum get upset by black or other people not properly identifying people, and they're like, well, it's not my job to fucking tell you about every single gender or whatever. Do the fucking research. So I could see how somebody who is that ignorant group, like, let me just corral with a bunch of niggas that look like me and try to figure it out without involving and taking the time away from these people that are already marginalized. So it wasn't executed perfectly, but to lose sleep over this or be upset about it, I think that's like a lot.
To me, not my understanding, but my perspective, while I understand where you're coming from, the space of confusion, to me, I don't know. I don't like to not have, or to, like you said, I think to not allow people of color to even, who want to be a part of that conversation, to not allow them to be there. It's a, kind of a funny thing to me. It's the first thing. Who are willing to have those conversations, who are capable of having those conversations. and who truly understand what's going on, right? Like, as much book reading as you've done, white professor, that's very nice. But to explain something from firsthand experience is very different than, oh, I read all these books, I think I know what they're saying. Because, for example, when they had a lot of people, because they had someone who was like a white person who was in charge of like diversity and inclusion at Elon, and it was a very touchy, taboo subject because it was like, girl, what are you going to tell me about what I'm feeling when you're involved in these, like, you know, racial cases that happen throughout campus, and I'm in your office and I'm talking to you about that, and you're just sitting there nodding because you don't know what the hell is going on. You can't actually be like, I can truly advocate for you because I know I physically understand what it's like to be in those situations, and you can't do that because all you're coming from is a space of research, and it's not bad. I'm not saying that you lack knowledge in that, but I think that sort of change happens, in my opinion, from hearing it from people who experience what's going on and can attest to it in a more realistic way than simply just, I'm reading that book, in my opinion. So for them to have that, go ahead.
I think you're kind of simplifying what that conversation can be too much. So, for example, say
I'm simplifying. I'm simplifying.
Well, I think you're simplifying what that white person that is well read, but quote unquote, is offering, or what they're able to do. So, for example,
I understand that they're able to offer a.
Let me just give you an example. Let me give you an example.
Okay.
So, say this is whatever 10 years ago, whatever, and or maybe now, say it now. I have a bunch of friends that are LGBTQ, right? But I have maybe teammates or old teammates of mine that I'm super close with that don't interact with any LGBTQ people and somewhat are prejudiced and like, I don't fuck with that gay shit, whatever. But me, someone who has friends, who's maybe also going through his own enlightenment and understanding of how life is, if I'm in a group with those guys, and they might not be willing to go to Boys Town or go to the Pride March or just even fucking kick it with gay dudes. But if me and them are able to kind of talk through, like, bro, like I felt the same way maybe at one point, but through talking to them and you understand the grand scope of the world, this is how you navigate and ask questions and how you approach. I'm going to give you the tools to then be able to approach them. Not to say that I'm the end all be all of LGBTQ-ness or what all the rules are in the space, but I can at least help my niggas start the navigation towards that and start to equip them, give them a starting point to be educated. And like I said, that is,
I understand,
extremely valuable, and I think that's needed. I think that's mandatory.
I think it is. I think it's valuable. I think it's needed, but
we don't want to do that from the start. I don't want to have to bring a bunch of 20 white boys from fucking Boston and tell them like, yeah, you can't say nigga in a song. Like, that's probably a lot of the stupid shit that I can guarantee. That's probably a lot of the basic level. Like, why can't I say it when I'm rap? Like, I don't want to have to. No one wants to have to do that. So, like, I think it's really extremely needed to have some buffer from one way of life to another to equip these people to be educated. So,
and while I understand that, maybe I'm just a cynical person, but I don't trust it. Sorry.
I don't trust it. Very cynical.
I just don't trust it. I understand what you're saying, and I understand that value that's there. I just don't trust it. I don't trust that there isn't a hidden agenda in the things that are being discussed in a private meeting where there has to be an NDA and black people are not allowed.
Well, there wasn't a real NDA, but what do you think that the school
obviously there's not a real NDA.
What do you think the School of Education is planning in some sinister shape or form?
Child,
you know
what did the presidency what just happened in the fucking government, yo? Like, what is happening in the government currently?
We're gonna start making these connections now.
What I'm saying is, I don't trust it. Period. I get it. It may be conspiracy to y'all niggas. Y'all may think that I'm being dramatic or whatever. I just don't trust it. So for me, it don't sit well.
I get it. I think it was just well intentioned and poorly positioned and
I don't think anybody here thinks that it was a great idea, but I think us as a people get in the way of ourselves when we just shut shit down because it just doesn't feel all the way right without one, maybe just understanding where they came from, and then two, giving like a legitimate suggestion of what should they have done, Torrance? Like, because it wasn't just you. I mean, it was the whole Facebook group. People were, had mixed feelings about the meeting. But like, what do you think they could have or should have done instead of this?
I think my major problem with it was that it was closed off from people who may have wanted to be a part of the conversation who weren't just white, right? And it was sort of this conversation of being like, what we discuss here, we keep it here, right? And I get that for an anonymity. It's good for people feeling safe to have those conversations or have those thoughts that are in their head that may be learned, that they may be trying to unlearn, that they may be. I understand all of that. However, to me, it sounds really. It doesn't fit. It doesn't sit well for me. That's just all. But to tell other people that they are not allowed to come because they are Black, because they're Latina, because they're Asian, because they're whatever on Elon's campus, to me is a little and yeah, I think that by having it being,
but do you not think though that we oftentimes as Black folk consistently tell people that it's not our responsibility to educate them?
I may feel that way. You may feel that way. Kyle may feel that way.
I do feel that way.
Somebody may not feel that way, right? Somebody may be like, I want to do this work. This is work that I want to do specifically to educate white people on why this is a problem, right? There are people who may want to, that is their life's work. So to not allow people to be in that space who may want to, and I said may want to, right? To not allow that to happen because it's a whites only event. No, sorry. I don't like it.
And then last couple of questions. What if we find out that maybe this person did get this advice from a Black person, and then they told them like, yeah, you should probably just have a whites only meeting to get y'all shit together, then come to us and maybe we can talk?
That nigga
I would say it's a dumbass. I would say it's a dumbass idea. I mean, that's that.
Yeah, they could be wrong too.
Yeah, I think Black people definitely easily can be wrong. So
yeah, I don't think that. Yeah, I don't think that there's really. I think there's rarely ever a finite, just
one
right
size fits all kind of. Yeah, I get it.
When it came through, when people were like really upset about it, I'm like, I could see it. At first, I was like, what the fuck? But then when I read it, I'm like, oh, like these are just a bunch of like kids from Portland and like whatever, trying to like whatever, and it's like they just don't know what they just don't know that sounds extremely racist and fucked up. But as long as it wasn't at Plantation and white boys were.
Yeah, I would love to see like a follow-up article about some of the earlier meetings that happened throughout the fall, even though they're quote unquote not able to talk about, but they should be able to share like some type of learnings or like top level like conversation points at least, and then we can see, okay, this is the type of stuff that they've been working on, or this is the stuff that they've been trying to improve upon, or shit like that. You know what I mean? So then we can at least see, okay, this is the vibe that's been going on. Hey, student reporters, get y'all shit together. Go get me some news.
Yeah. No impeachment, I guess.
Yes. Moving on from that, there has been no conviction for Donald J. Trump.
I've been exonerated again.
And what's frustrating, I think, for me was in this particular situation was, Mitch McConnell got up after he voted nay.
That speech was such bullshit, bro.
And went in on Trump as if he voted yay and no one else did. Like his
speech literally said, yes, the impeachment managers proved their case.
They proved it. There's irrefutable evidence. He's guilty. But I ain't gonna impeach that bitch. Like, nah. We not gonna do that today.
It's a joke.
It really is. It really just showed me that and maybe, like I said, maybe this is a part of why I'm such a cynic, or why I think that unfortunately, not all white people, but some white people are up to no good.
Oh yes,
Quite a few.
I am a cynical person, Torrance. At my core, I'm a very cynical person.
And
So
I think at my core, I'm not. That's a problem, though. At my core, I'm not. I believe, or I try to believe, that people have good intentions. But I just don't believe it based on certain, like this whole situation.
I think that the person would have had to have been killed. I think like a actual politician.
I'm about to say niggas that
murdered.
No,
not a little police officer or a little Cadet Kelly. A politician would have had to have been murdered.
Not a Cadet Kelly.
She was in the army.
She was. I think my thing is that people look out for themselves way more than anything else. I think that Trump has a lot more power than we may even imagine that he has. I think he got a shit ton of power, period. But he clearly has significantly more power than anybody can even truly understand based on the way that these people are voting to not impeach him a second time, right? Like that's just a given, right? Like, you know, there are a lot of conversations, a lot of things that happen. Like there was a whole thing with the judge who was over the case for one of his people, and an assassin came in in a mail truck and killed their son and critically injured the husband. And that was on the news for maybe a couple minutes, and then that shit was done. And how the hell is that not?
Nothing matters, bro. Like Trump said, he could kill somebody on Fifth Ave and get away with it.
Yep.
Like the law gets we're seeing the law and law, quote unquote, law get manipulated so much that it doesn't matter. So I don't
it's kind of a joke to me. It's really dumb.
It just take care of your family and yourself and try to get money or leave the country because it's
amen. The vaccines, we are expected to all be vaccinated, or at least the people who are not anti-vaxxers and pissing me off. Are expected to be vaccinated. Everyone can be vaccinated by the end of July, allegedly.
We're gonna see.
Allegedly,
what they rollout plan looking like?
Because my birthday is in August.
The current rollout been real trash. So if this new album rollout hits, we can see. Yeah. You know, the Grammys, some Billboard #1s.
Yeah, I need a single. Give me a single real quick.
Yeah. We need a single before the album comes out.
What's up? What's good? Say less. Say less.
Video or something. Yeah, my birthday's end of June. Me and Kyle's end of June, and definitely, hopefully by the time super vaxxed up in California with the weather's better. I mean, the weather will be good either way.
Weather's gonna be great.
Yeah. If we could be outside by Torrance's birthday, I'd be very happy.
It would, because I'm gonna be out here, and I'm like, all right, cool. I know where I want to go, what I want to do.
I'm gonna be outside by this summer. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I'm just saying because
I'm going crazy.
In addition to you getting the vaccine yourself, is like there needs to be enough people around you with the vaccine.
Sure, but also.
Or you can take that 5% risk. So fuck it.
I'll take the 5%. 5%.
But you know what I'm saying.
If I get a 95% on my test, nigga, guess what? I feel great.
But you know what I'm saying though, right? Because it has to be good enough to like where shit is actually open for us to go to. So yeah, we got vaccinated. And now we can go to all these places.
And mad people ain't vaccinated right now, and they already got outdoor dining. And they got outdoor dining.
Y'all ain't even close to malls, so
yeah. I've been seeing people house parties and shit, bro. By the summer, it's going down. So anywho,
people gonna be outside regardless of a vaccine or not.
Definitely looking forward to that. In sports, UFC.
Oh yeah, it was UFC fights last night.
Nigerian brother got the W during Black History Month. It was good to see. Usman, I don't know his first name, but he knocked that
Kamaru Usman. Good fight. Yeah, I mean UFC super maggot-y, but like the Dana White, the owner is. But I love.
I like getting to root for individual black athletes.
I watched some boxing matches yesterday. Actually,
I did too. Yeah.
What's his name? It was a Ghanaian man and a Dominican man. They was
I don't know. They're not like well enough known.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't know these people, but I was just saying it was on. I was let's watch it. Let's see. I honestly, to me, boxing, it looks extremely exhausting and painful. And every time I watch it, I keep thinking about how I keep thinking like because the dude got knocked out and hit the ropes and just kind of like his body went like noodle. His body went like a straight up like a wet ass noodle and just kind of fell to the floor.
It's like immediate injections of CTE.
And
bow, CTE. Bow,
like that's it.
Parkinson. Bow, Alzheimer's.
All this shit is happening, right? And I'm just damn.
Hit.
And we still watching this shit? Like, I gotta figure out the origins of boxing. Maybe I'll bring that up next time.
People have always been fighting.
Huh?
Fighting's probably like as old as prostitution. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's always been around.
Well, shout out to sex workers. 18, the All-Star game is in Atlanta. Atlanta.
I really hope it doesn't happen.
It's Atlanta. It's going to. When I say it's going to happen.
No, because like even like players have been like, this is stupid. You know what I'm saying? So like, I hope that it just doesn't happen.
Atlanta don't care. Atlanta never cared. Atlanta.
I know, but when you have like Giannis, like the league MVP, saying, "Why the fuck are we going to an All-Star game?" Like the players
Giannis
have control. This
shit's
gonna happen, but it's stupid as hell.
He gonna be in the hotel room. He gonna be safe. He gonna be content. Kyrie gonna go out. Harden gonna go out.
They have fans at games in Atlanta now.
That absolute, of course they do. It's Atlanta. Atlanta.
Compound gonna be on fire, boy.
Georgia and below is different. Really, North Carolina below is different.
All right, exactly. Like they experiencing COVID allegedly very differently.
They're not experiencing it.
Let them tell it.
Just vibes.
So I'm quite excited about that. Deshaun Watson.
Free Deshaun. The Houston Texans have spent years ruining this man's career.
They're ruining their own organization. The thing about it is, too, I don't know what team is going to be able to realistically get him because they have to give up so much to get him. They're going to have to give up like 2 to 3 at least first-round draft picks.
It'll be 3 first-round draft picks easily.
If not like a starting quarterback and
you're gonna have to mortgage your future, honestly, to get for any team to really get him. But I hope he gets out because the Texans, they don't care about their own organization. They've been ruining careers for forever.
Yeah, they seem awkwardly.
And it's the other weird thing with this is like they let JJ Watt go, white man, not letting the black man go. I see what y'all doing, Texans, but also it's like. Free agents see how y'all treat your players and your star players. And it's like, if I'm a big name free agent, why would I want to come play for an organization that treats their stars like this? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, them getting rid of D-Hop was insane, and JJ Watt, all that stuff goes a long way. So shout out to just Deshaun. He's a beast. I would love to see him in a better situation, but
I just like
entertainment.
Seeing players. Sorry, one more thing. I just like seeing players in football now. Starting to like see that they do have some power, like NBA players started doing with LeBron in the decision a decade ago. So it's good to see that sports are starting to evolve now.
Yeah, I just hope that it means that they're going to actually play because, like, for what's his name, running back, that'll play for the Steelers.
Le'Veon, he just sat.
Yeah, Le'Veon Bell, like, he sat out a year. Like, I don't want to see them not play just for my own selfish reasons.
Yeah,
so we'll see.
In entertainment, there's a new Justice League trailer for the similar Justice League movie that came out a couple years ago that was kind of trash.
Batman.
But this one, I'm Batman. I hate that honestly a lot. But it's like
black people over here.
that's what it's going to be like.
Bruce Wayne hates poor people.
Bruce Wayne is
a
terrorist,
and I love Batman.
He's a billionaire terrorist.
He is a billionaire who comes down to the slums of Gotham and beats these poor people's asses.
Are you smoking
weed? Poor people up.
Is that weed on you? I smell weed.
Is that weed? Give
it over. Hand it over right now.
So allegedly, Kyle just educated us that this is the movie that the director had always wanted to make.
Yes,
that he was unable to create.
You have the OG Justice League that came out a couple years ago, and then you have the Snyder cut. Zack Snyder was the director. So for years, fans have been petitioning for the Snyder Cut. It's this fabled long cut of the movie that's even longer than the original, but like the villain was a lot better. The storyline made a lot more sense. A lot of the shit that got left on the editing floor essentially in the first movie would have been corrected and done properly, essentially in this longer version. And so now it's going to be coming out on HBO Max because they're like, fuck it, we're streaming everything anyway.
And Kyle, can you tell the folks how long this is expected to be?
I want to say 4 hours.
So it's allegedly going to be a 4
American
hour.
hours?
Like,
yeah, it's 4 hours.
So what I'm
those
going
Latin
to do
American hours or those American USD hours?
That's currency, not time. But time
interesting.
is the same measurement across countries.
So what I'll say is, you asked me to watch something for 4 hours.
You got to break it up.
You better see some
So
titties
just
or something.
pretend.
4
So
hours?
just pretend you're binging. Shut up, Danny. Oh my
some
god.
Sex scenes.
Shut up.
Let me see that ass real
just,
quick.
Just pretend you're binge watching a series
Yeah.
that you really like, and pretend. And you got to break it up, because I'm gonna tell you right now, based on the last Justice League movie, I felt
Trash.
Yeah, but
Fell
so
asleep.
if it wasn't for the first one, I'd really say it wouldn't be that hard to do. Because like realistically, how many times have you been watching Netflix to the point where Netflix asks you if you're still there? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It's like people will sit on the couch and watch 4 hours of TV like it's fucking nothing. You know what I'm saying?
I'm quite concerned.
But one like continuous thought is harder, like because
It is.
because
No, it
between
is,
episodes you can go leave, take a shit, make you listen to a drink.
You can do
walk
that
the
with
dog.
this. Just pause at the end of a good
No,
scene.
it's hard to do that.
Or
It's
an
hard to
act.
do that when it's a movie.
I don't think it's as bad. If you sit
We'll
on the couch,
we'll see how bad this one is once the time comes.
We'll see how I think
on March. What is
month?
that? The 13th or the 18th or some
18th.
shit?
I want to say the 18th.
Yeah, 18 sounds about right. That sounds about.
Yeah, I'm gonna get dumb smacked and then watch it. So
Yeah, gotta do that. Gorilla Girl ain't stiff no more, y'all. She had
Round
some
of
corrective
applause.
surgery. She flew her ass on out to Los
shout out
Angeles.
to Tessica.
What can we do? What can we do to get famous real quick and get some like?
Okay,
free
so
shit?
here's the thing. So I've been thinking about this. Because what she did was, because I recall seeing the original video where she was just like, "Y'all, I didn't have no more spray, and so I used this spray, and it don't move. See, it's not. I washed my hair 10 times, 15 times, and it don't move." And I remember sitting there like, oh shit, she's serious. And then she put a video up where she like pouring shampoo on it and it didn't move at all. And I was just like, damn, she dumb. But then everyone started sending her all this money, right? Like she put up a GoFundMe and made like $20,000 off of the GoFundMe for doing stupid shit. So I'm sitting here thinking,
we need to go for. You don't need your eyelashes, do you?
No.
Let's start there. We can be like eyelash man and do something like that.
My eyelashes are actually very pretty from what I understand.
But you don't need them for
What about
20
your
bands. We can get you some new ones. For 20 bands, we can get you some new eyebrow.
I think so for 20.
Would you sacrifice your eyebrows for 20 bands?
For eyebrow, I thought you meant eyelashes.
Yes.
Eyebrows, yes. My
I
eyebrows
would color them shits
thick.
in. I would be like Jermaine Jackson. My whole hairline would be colored in. Like, man, fuck it, bro.
We just going
with the money phone. With the money, I know eyebrows with money phone. Like, damn, I don't know how y'all niggas.
That's
do that
crazy.
eyebrow shit.
What a stack to your head. Like, damn, that's
Oh.
crazy. Y'all,
I can't
y'all
hear
hear
the
me?
haters.
Can y'all
I
hear
can't
me?
hear what the fuck
I
y'all
can't hear
talking
y'all. I think about that often. There's so much money out here. Shout out to Gorilla Girl for getting her hair right. Again, I pray that she reads every label, and I hope this is a lesson to all you bitches that don't read the labels.
But did you see that dumbass dude who was like, man, that ain't real? And he gorilla glued a plastic cup to his lip. And he had to go to the hospital, and apparently part of his top lip might have to get removed to remove the.
I mean,
plastic
honestly,
cup.
y'all having a lot of fun out there.
It was
And
it was a very entertaining video to watch.
I think the internet to me is a place where it could be a positive place, but it could also be severely negative. And I think that a lot of people are choosing the negative as of recently, and I'm not against it. Do what
It's
you gonna
very
do.
entertaining.
It's quite entertaining. I don't know how old these people are, but I imagine that they're
Well,
younger than I am.
Gorilla Glue Girl was 40, so entirely too old, honestly.
Yeah, she was just stupid.
Yeah.
Shit.
So these people are older than us. They just dumb.
Shit. Never mind. I don't know what to say.
That just was late though.
They
That
that
was
was
just-
like this
infinitely.
with some Gen Z girl doing this for TikTok.
At least you ain't gotta do nothing to your hair, man.
That's somebody's mama too. Like,
That's
mama, what's wrong with
okay.
your hair?
Not Mama though.
You know, mamas be 38 these days. Like, mama, what's up with your hair? Fucked up.
Yeah,
Stupid
so
ass
shout out
lady.
to Gorilla Girl for getting her life together.
Stupid ass lady.
Stupid ass.
Don't say nothing positive. I'm so tired of this shit. If you're gonna be negative the whole fucking show, Torrance. That's a stupid ass lady. I don't give a fuck.
Issa Rae is creating a new HBO show called
My
Rap
cousin.
Girls, executive
Favorite.
produced by the City Girls. I can't fucking wait for that
This is gonna be
ratchet,
a wild ratchet ass show. and
for
I'm
that
here for it.
ratchet ass. Give me all the ratchet mess that you
And
can
it's
think.
and just think
A
it's gonna be-
scripted,
It's gonna be that, and it's gonna be HBO quality.
and it's gonna
Like
be
this.
oh.
This is the content that
The
Black
music.
folk have been waiting for. They're gonna be able to blow a
Because
bag
Issa
on
don't play
music.
by music neither,
No.
so you know it's gonna be oh.
They gonna
This is
have
an
Wow.
Issa Rae
budget for music.
podcast, by the
Let's
way.
just have a moment. Literally, this is
This
an
is
Issa Rae podcast. If you don't
You know how
know
Joe
nothing
Budden,
else-
you know how Joe Budden always like talks about their whole Avengers.
Yeah.
We need a name for Issa Rae because I feel like we've never once said anything
negative.
slightly
I
remotely
haven't
negative about Issa Rae.
like
We
in
ride for
the
Issa.
160 episodes we've stand Issa quite consistently, constantly.
Consistently.
I say at least 83% of them.
Yeah,
She would be my favorite cousin. Like, oh yeah, my cousin is on the way. Like,
or like,
easily.
oh, I can't go, but I'm hanging out with my cousin today. Like that's what it
Easy.
is. Like that's the energy
Issa
it's
gonna,
giving.
is cousin Issa gonna be there? No.
Oh, she
I'm not
not going?
Mm-mm.
Or texting and be like,
Ah.
bitch, why you not going? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I just got here. They said
like, stop
they said you was
playing.
gonna be here. Where you at?
Like, stop playing.
You
Like, come,
pre-gaming?
hurry. I'm gonna be there. Stop playing. Hurry up.
I'm gonna bring a model.
Absolutely. So we stay in Issa, love Issa. Quite excited for this because we know it's gonna slap. Like, there's no doubt in my mind that it's not gonna be great. So I'm just quite excited for that. Judas and the Black Messiah have not seen. Kyle.
Honestly, in Black History Month, I'm very disappointed in both of you.
It just came out.
It just came literally like what a
We're
couple.
in the middle of a pandemonium. You're supposed to be at home. Harlots.
Sorry, we have other people have other responsibilities, Kyle.
It's the weekend. I ain't got no responsibilities. But no,
I was
it
in the
a
stew.
very, very, very,
Loving hip hop.
very, very good fucking movie. It was well, like that story, like itself, like
This is Fred, ain't it?
yeah.
Fred
It's the
Hampton.
story of Fred and how he got set up.
How
by
you
that
got set the fuck
company.
up? Yeah.
It's
the
crazy.
FBI.
It's also insane that I didn't know about Fred Hampton until probably like 5-ish years ago. The story of Fred Hampton. I mean, you don't really know about the Black Panthers really, other than just the name.
Yeah, the highlights.
Unless it's like you said, you're getting that outside knowledge of being
Yeah,
like, hey,
but you
this
don't
is
really-
what this is. Yeah. Because in school, haha.
Yeah, no, they didn't really teach you. They taught you about the violence of the Black Panthers and stuff like that. But this one like really harped on like the breakfast program, the free meal,
And the
like,
community
them really
started
trying
to
to put
happen.
on for Chicago and kind of
Oh,
bringing Chicago together for the poor working class people in Chicago. And it's just crazy how fearful the United States government was of a 21-year-old Black man. He was
Right.
21 years old when he was assassinated. 21. Imagine the government coming after us when we were 21.
Whew. I would have been. I don't know what the. I would have been doing
Senior
something
Elon,
for
like, you know what I'm
locals,
saying?
Sperry shoes, like man.
stressed.
Like,
Fuck my
but it was
Sperry's at.
the acting was amazing. Like the script was well written. It was shot beautifully. It was a masterpiece. I listened to most of the soundtrack too. It was pretty solid.
I listened to some of it. It was too heavy. Like I don't
It
know.
was a very blackety black, but like I broke it up. I didn't listen to it all through in one run. So when I broke it up, it was like nice hearing some songs.
What the
listened to
soundtrack?
Yeah. I listened to the
'Cause it
Nipsey
had
and
like
Jay
a
Z
hell
one
of a it had a hell of a
lineup.
artist list on
Yeah.
there. Right? It's a
G Herbo
star
had a
list.
really good. G Herbo had a really good song on there. I just couldn't like it was. I was getting also on my way to the pop up TV and I'm like I can't. I'm gonna be in a horrible mood. Listening to this
You
shit.
do need it. I was like just like sitting in the house like earlier today, like not doing anything. Like I didn't have the TV on, so I just put it on the speakers or
BJ
whatever.
the Chicago Kid, Lil Durk,
Yeah, like everybody and their mama is on it.
Dom, Sir. Oh, this is I actually.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
give it a listen.
I'm looking forward to this. Yeah, I'm gonna listen. I'm looking.
But yeah, no, it's a very good movie. I'm very excited to see like how more people will get to learn the story of not only the Black Panther Party, but Fred Hampton and some of the other heroes that were included in it as well, because they were all young as hell putting in the work. So I'm just glad this movie came to fruition.
Same.
With
Chappelle Show.
With the budget behind it too. That's the other part. Like
Yeah.
It's a real budget.
Like this wasn't no cheap shit. You know what I'm saying? Like this was a real. Like people will get nominated for high awards for this movie.
We'll probably watch it tonight or tomorrow at the latest.
It's like almost 2 hours, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Also, the Chappelle Show is back on Netflix.
Chappelle Show.
It's also on HBO Max now, I think, as well, because Comedy Central has now ran Dave his coinage that he requested, because a lot of people boycotted watching it. Actually, it was just like, this is trash that y'all not paying this man for his original content that is legendary consistently. So it's great to see that he's getting getting his money to the extent of
it was low-key like bullshit, because like, okay, he created Chappelle Show in what, 2002 2004. Streaming didn't exist when the Chappelle Show came out, or streaming didn't exist the last time that the Chappelle Show came out on DVD or whatever. So it was like, how are you gonna say that he can't profit off this because it wasn't his contract or whatever when that technology
it didn't even exist.
It didn't exist, you know what I'm saying? So I'm glad that they got that right for him.
And it's like these companies make so much money off this content when this is the advertising dollars and stuff. It's like to give this one individual person a lot of money is not shit to this company who's making hand over fist money over and over. To give him nothing, it's like it was insane.
But it's like somebody that's his stature, like top 5 comedian of all time, that would like set a precedent for if Netflix wants to keep expanding their comedian roster, which they have been doing. If I'm a major comedian, y'all treating Dave Chappelle like this, how y'all gonna treat me?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So to see
it was crazy because he put out another little, like, I don't even call it a special. It was just like content. Like he was stand up. I can't remember the name of it, but it was like 10 minutes. He just came out last week, and he was saying how, like, people were shitting on him because he had corona, and people were saying like, how you got corona, and like how he was being reckless. I'm like, bro, what the fuck? Like, he had been testing people. He was doing all this kind of shit to keep people safe. At a certain point, like if he got it at that point, he could have gotten it anywhere, going to the grocery store and going out to eat. So it's like, I hate people once again on Twitter being so outraged about like Dave Chappelle's reckless and all this kind of shit. I saw some dude literally tweet that Dave Chappelle got a server sick with corona. It's like, first of all, how the fuck do you know that? That server could have got him sick.
Right.
And
how are you tracking
like,
1-to-1 COVID transmission?
Right. And if I'm a server or somebody, I kind of know the risk that I'm potentially taking when I'm working and going out in this space. And also, you're not a fucking epidemiologist. How the fuck do you
Dr. Fauci?
He said Dave Chappelle directly correlated to this man's illness.
I saw somebody tweet this, and I saw people like it as well, saying like Dave Chappelle is like more or less not shit because he was reckless.
Put it down, crackhead.
I'm like, bro.
Crackheads out here.
And if you like watched anything or listened to anything that people did Chappelle's summer camp and stuff, he was like testing people. It was like a bubble. He was testing people all day long. Like it was just. And then also on the whole, going back to Kyle's point, I even heard comedians, like one comedian, for example, Andrew Schultz, who's I like his podcast, White Boy. He does Brilliant Idiots with Charlemagne. He was saying like how like stupid it was for Chappelle to be complaining he's a millionaire and all this kind of shit. And like, why would you ever complain about this stuff? I'm like, bro, like these
give me
companies
what
make
you
so
owe
much
me.
money off of our shit, and they've been doing
Absolutely.
it for so long.
But
And to
that-
Kyle's point, it's not even just about Dave Chappelle. It's about the next 20 people who do deals
Who
with.
come after
That's
this.
stupid
Exactly.
Schultz to say because he has a Netflix special or like a series Netflix special. So
Exactly.
what if 10 years from now they started re-airing his shit and are like, oh, we're not going to pay you for re-airing the
Exactly.
show.
You're not gonna
Oh.
sit there and be like, "Oh, okay, I guess
Yeah, no,
I'm
run
already
with
have
my
a lot of
coin.
money. I guess I'm
Right.
fine." Like, no,
Especially when
that's
you make
not
something-
the energy you're gonna give.
Especially when you make something as iconic as the Chappelle show. Because he
That
was
iconic.
in his podcast, he was trying to make equivalents. Like when I was with MTV early on with like Guy Code and shit,
Guy Code does not
I got
compare.
fucked over. I'm like, all right, Guy Code or anything you've made, any single thing you've made right now has such a minuscule comparison to
Look,
the Chappelle
look,
show.
MTV
You can't even have this
cares
conversation.
so
right
Like,
now.
this is
little
his
about
true
Guy Code,
intellectual
they
property.
won't even stick it into the schedule in between the 75 straight
Ridiculousness.
hours of ridiculousness.
Right, exactly. Right.
That's what
And
I
he was
mean,
like a supporting character on Guy. So it's just like it's
to
interesting
have
that people,
someone be a part of each thing, create him, right? Like, I mean, he didn't create each and every one of them, but he
But
was the
in damn
producer
near every
of.
skit,
He
too.
was in every skit. He
Him and
created
Neil-
those.
him and Neil
Exactly.
Brennan, yeah.
Neil Brennan, exactly. So that's what I mean. Like, he was
That's his
the
baby.
architect. Like, exactly. He created this shit from ground up. I couldn't imagine having something that I created, right? Like something that I had my stamp on. These are my ideas, and to have some other white man or one white, like this corporation making
Yeah.
millions off of the streaming or millions off of whatever it is off of my stuff, and I
And
get nothing.
And he can't even use his name freely. That was another thing. He couldn't even go make another Chappelle show.
Chappelle show. Mhm.
Yeah.
So it's just, it was a huge win for us. Not only
Yes, for
Chappelle
sure.
show, but not even just black people, creators. I think if you're ever trying to make sense of what a corporation does to fuck people over before you think about the people that make corporations run, you're a jackass. Because this
We're the engine.
We're the engine,
Creators
and we'll
are
get
the
fucked
engines
over.
that power all this shit.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Sponsor break. Sorry. This podcast is brought to you by Atlanta Strip Clubs, the #1 safest place in America. And also, no. What if they were doing vaccine like stations at Atlanta Strip Clubs? That would be a
I
great
believe
idea.
that. I think that
Let's-
would be a great place
Let's
to
all
start.
move to Atlanta this summer and open up like a strip club clinic.
Wow. Do you know how much I love that idea?
Okay, so Danny,
Do you honestly know how much I love that idea, Danny? I think that may be your hot take, and that may have redeemed you from anything you've ever said over the last 5 episodes.
I'm gonna need you to get started on the PPP loan
Yeah.
tomorrow. Okay.
Let me
We'll
type
start-
this up as we finish this
Start
episode.
drafting up the business plan.
A
That'll be
strip
great.
club clinic.
Just get
Promoting
vaccine.
sexual
I
health.
feel like we have a
sexual,
name for what already. We came up with it in college. It was based around chicken, I believe.
Something. Okay, what was it? Who was it?
It was something in thighs or something like that.
Breasts and thighs?
Something like that.
Yeah, I think
Mind
it was
you,
breasts and thighs.
they came up with this not even 6 years ago, 7
Yeah.
at this
years
point,
ago?
8 years ago.
That's why we're struggling to remember the name, but it would be a
Damn,
chicken
breasts
joint
and
strip
thighs
club.
No,
would be
I want to put everyone in the
great.
mindset of where you bitches were thinking back then and how that has continued on
The
7-8 years now.
The entrepreneurial spirit, Torrance? Why are you trying to tear down another black man's business ideas in the Black History Month?
Don't lift me up,
Is
King.
that what you want to do?
Don't lift me up, King.
You trying to
You
tear
are
down
a
another
black
black
king.
man?
Don't try to
Torrance.
lift me up.
That's crazy, honestly.
Oh
We might have
Breasts
a talk
and
about
thighs. What a
excommunicating.
great. That is a
Black
fantastic.
History Month figures.
Oh, that is. Y'all gonna be so mad when I create this fantastic, scalable, and relevant business. They're gonna be
Look
getting
at Fred
vaccines.
Scalable.
Scalable.
Huh?
Wait, stop who?
Right, yeah, we're
Roscoe's
killing the
where?
competition. Family-owned, black-owned business, y'all, bro, it's over with.
Magic, huh?
This
Black
is science.
History
This
Month.
is not magic.
it is still Black History Month, so we are still highlighting our Black History Month figures. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first, real quick. I picked Gordon Parks for this week. I was looking at a bunch of pictures on the internet. And he's always been like a very inspiring photojournalist. Born in 1912, passed away in 2006. Primarily known for his amazing photography work. He was a longtime photographer for Life magazine, I believe it was. Very active from the 40s through the 70s. A lot of his work highlighted Black life, civil rights era, and even more. It's great seeing a lot of his work in color, especially from those 40s and 50s and 60s eras. So oftentimes you don't get to see those kind of civil rights era pictures in color. And also a fun fact, he directed Shaft in 1971. So he wasn't just nice behind a photo camera, but you know what I'm saying, that film, he was doing his thing there. So Gordon Parks inspired many photographers from generations to come. So that's why I like to pick that.
Shout out to them Black folk. Hit them Black folk. Yeah. My Black person is Mr. Bang 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 Bang, John Witherspoon, R.I.P.
Excellent.
R.I.P. to yes, a legend.
I always knew about John Witherspoon, but there was a couple different pieces of content that came out really the year right before he passed that really gave me some more insight to who he was. Anyways, he was an early comedian, like stand-up. We know him from the Wayans Bros and Friday, but he was a really OG stand-up comedian and vital to the Comedy Store in LA. And like it was one of the like initial figures with like all those guys. Was it Letterman and like just a bunch of those guys that really were there early. He was like there, and he just has this great story that he told on Joe Rogan's podcast last year about how he drove out from Detroit, and just started doing stand-up and was a model at first and just all this kind of stuff. So he was just such a unique voice up until I think he was working literally up until he passed away, like, months before. And just a great example of a Black man having a great voice in comedy and a unique voice in comedy and literally working and fulfilling his life's purpose until the day he passed. Or more or less, of course. But so yeah.
I'd also say he probably has one of the greatest fictional songs of all time.
My love's go bang bang, bang.
I literally will find myself randomly singing that song.
My love
go
bang bang bang, bang, bang. You better run
for
cover. You sweet little day. Yeah, that is a Black ass random little tune. But yeah, shout out to Pops.
That's a good one.
That's a great one. Mine is in honor of the Australian Open that's happening right now, with Serena kicking ass and also Osaka, she doing her damn thing as well.
We should have highlighted that in our sport.
We should have did that in our sports as well.
We don't support Black women.
Shout out to shout out to them doing great things, and I'm looking forward to them continuing on. Hopefully this is that Grand Slam. Serena has always done well in the Australian Open, so crossing our fingers of the greatness. But my figure that I'm highlighting is Arthur Ashe. He is still to this day the only Black man to ever win the singles title in Wimbledon, US Open, as well as the Australian Open. He was diagnosed with HIV after having a blood transfusion because he had heart problems. He had like a hereditary heart issue, and he created a foundation for the fight of HIV and AIDS, and was awarded the Medal of Freedom by Bill Clinton. So he's a very prominent sort of like historic figure when it comes to tennis and making his mark and being as excellent as he was.
Really one of the greatest tennis players of all time.
One of the greatest tennis players of all time for sure. I believe he has his own court, I think, with the US Open.
The main court.
The main court is the Arthur Ashe. Exactly, is the Arthur Ashe court. So amazing tennis player, definitely historic in that regard. So yeah, that's my
It's interesting that there aren't more black male men in tennis.
It's not. It's an access thing.
I think so as
Yeah,
well.
I mean,
Like that,
yeah, it's
It's an access thing if you think about it. How many like
Yeah.
black kids do you see playing tennis? Period.
yeah,
Like,
it's
you go
it's
to
very
black-
frustrating, unfortunately, to see it because tennis is a sport where we have
You dominate.
excelled exactly consistently, constantly. However, to be a great tennis player, it takes time.
such a
It
finesse
takes
sport.
money.
Yeah,
Exactly. It
practice.
takes so much practice, right? Because it's a big ass racket and a little ass ball, and you're running back and
Yeah.
forth, hitting that bitch back and
I
forth.
guess I was thinking, but I feel like I see a lot of women of color since the Serena,
Yes.
Naomi. What was the other black Coco?
Coco Gauff, yeah.
So you see some of those
and then you
other
got a Sloan. who's also
Sloan. So you see these
Stevens,
little black girls kind of pop up, but you don't see as many
Yeah, there's
black
been a
boys.
couple. Blake. And there's been a couple other here and there.
And there are other people in other
But I don't-
countries too, like black people from other countries
Yeah,
that are doing great work.
I
but-
don't know if black people want to watch enough tennis, like outside of like the Serenas and stuff like that, for it to like really hit home and be like, oh, I want to go play tennis now. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And then two, I don't know if there's enough, like you were saying, Dane, with black males. So yeah, it's great getting to watch Venus and Serena for the past damn near 30 years. And now we have Naomi Osaka and Coco and Sloane Stevens, but the men don't really have that in terms of like a sports role model. And then also it's like, is tennis really a cool sport for kids? I went to tennis camp once when I was like 8. And I was like, I will never do this shit again. It's tennis camp. I want to go play basketball.
I wish that was a thing because
I think as a parent, I would try to allow or want my kid to play like a popular
absolutely.
football or
It's a sport
basketball.
I would definitely introduce.
And then I would try to get them into a golf or tennis, at least from like a lessons perspective, because to your point, if you have natural talent or naturally athletic,
athleticism,
and the thing about how hard it is to be a really good football player, from even just to get the college standpoint, or basketball players even harder if you're not 6'3" and above, damn near. So just imagine if I'm like a pretty competitive tennis person and I'm athletically or like lacrosse, shit like that, where like I can get big.
And the individual money that comes with that is like can be astronomical. Truly,
my
it
kids
can
will be
be
playing the non-traditional sports.
Easy.
I'll let them hoop. I'll definitely let them hoop. Not gonna lie.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I hooped in high school, so I
that's what I'm saying.
But it was like, hey, bro, go play golf.
We're gonna try other stuff. We're gonna try these also great
tennis.
sport that you may not see as popular as the basketballs, the footballs,
maybe
the
as
baseballs.
a black person, you could also go play in college too. Oh, you're black and you're good.
And you're great at this sport, and you're
even at Elon, we had
University.
a couple different black girls on the golf team. Taylor and LaRaisin, whatever was her name.
Bree.
Anyways, we had a couple black girls on the golf team. I guess I think all it takes is like one of those people in tennis, black males in tennis, that is like a similar
breakout
to Serena, that's like dominant, that's great, that has a personality. We can see them in our clothes that we like. That's a cultural figure in fucking rap songs.
Her daddy was Joe Jackson, so
right.
You know what I mean? So you need. So that's what I'm saying. Like
Tiger. I watched the Tiger Woods doc, and it's like Tiger.
Well, his daddy was Joe Jackson too.
Right, exactly, right. But a lot of the access in golf truly is like legitimate racism that just ended. But also I do feel like I do see a lot of, especially older or like black men that are fluent, like flocking to golf. Like all these basketball players play. I mean, my dad he picked up golfing. Right, he picked up golfing. I mean, 20 years ago when he was a little bit older. We had never touched a golf club before, so it's just like I don't know. I feel like black people
I took golf in college actually. Our last semester, I needed a 1 credit course so I could be active in Greek life since I was a part-time student or whatever. So I took golf, and we just went to the driving range twice a week on campus and hit balls or whatever. And our final exam was we had to go play 9 holes at the course in Burlington. But even as a kid, like my dad had golf clubs, so as a kid I would go to the driving range with him sometimes, and we would hit balls and stuff like that. But that never transpired into like going to a golf course and playing 9 holes as
actually
a kid. 'Cause
going and
that
hitting.
shit takes forever.
You gotta
golf
look
course
where your
all
ball
fucking
go.
And 2, like it's a very technical sport. It's a very hard sport to play in a very like it's individual or whatever, so it's all on you, but it is a very hard skill to develop. It's
Send
a
my
very hard sport
ass
to play.
to the top
yes,
golf, and
I
I'll
would
be
love to
just
see more
fine.
black people playing golf. Maybe we can even go top golf or driving range or something when we all out in LA. Get a little black golf club going. But yeah.
Black golf. This is a black golf podcast. What are you watching? I'm watching WandaVision. I'm caught up. Great show. I don't know
I
what
have
the
one more
fuck is
app
going
to
on.
go, so I'm excited
So
for that.
It's going wild. I was last night, like I was up super late, couldn't sleep. I was on Hulu, and I came across this show called Hip Hop Uncovered. It's a little 2-episode docuseries so far. I don't know if there's any more episodes or not, but it kind of looks at the ties between the origins of hip hop and kind of street culture and stuff like that. And not just street culture,
pretty
but
much like my
no,
culture.
but like the drug game and violence and street culture. So like Waka Flocka Flame's mom is in it, and a couple other people who were like very big in like the gangs and streets and how that helped fund the early rap game and stuff like that. So it really talks about the ties between the two. It's an interesting 2 episodes.
So more
I
or
might
less,
check that out. Shut up.
if you have any questions, Kyle, about that kind of stuff, let me know. Go ahead, Torrance.
What do you wait?
Go ahead, Torrance.
What do you have experience?
We can talk
Danny?
offline, but if you just need to
No,
talk about some of that stuff. Go ahead, Torrance. Go ahead.
On air.
Torrance,
on
go
air.
ahead, please. Thank you.
Bricks.
I hate it here
Thank
so
you.
much. I just started
Thank you.
watching Titans, the live action like Teen Titans thing. It's not
What is that
a
on?
teen show at all. It's on HBO Max.
Okay.
So it's on HBO Max. It's definitely TVMA type joint. It's a little gory. It can get a little gory at moments.
I'll check it
it's
out.
not. It's actually really great so far from what I'm watching.
I finished Sabrina this past week, so now I am looking for new shows now.
Great. No, Sabrina was great. Did you like that last season? Last season was great.
I did.
Last season was excellent.
I don't
Danny,
know
I
if they're
think
gonna-
I don't think
I
Danny
don't
you'll
know if
ever
they're
like
gonna do a
it.
5th
But
season or not.
Yeah,
but-
They're not
gonna
gonna do
do
a 5th season.
They're not.
Go ahead.
They're not gonna do a 5th season.
Go ahead. What you about to say?
We're talking about Sabrina still, bitch.
Yeah, I wasn't
no,
listening.
they're
Go
not gonna do. They're not gonna do a 5th season of it,
Okay.
unfortunately.
I didn't think that they would. The way it ended, I didn't think. That they would.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they're not gonna do that. But that is not something that Danny likes. Danny, you don't like science, fantasy, science fiction type things, right? You don't like that kind of shit, do you?
Shut your fucking.
You don't like that
What'd you
kind of
say?
shit, do you?
I'm sorry,
You
what
don't
did
like
I
that
say?
kind of stuff.
He
You don't like that
doesn't
kind of
watch
stuff.
I watched the Marvel shit. All the Marvel shit is sci-fi.
Oh, but you like superhero shit. You don't like magic shit. You just like superhero stuff, right?
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I'm a grown ass man. What do you mean? I believe in
So-
science.
He's childish. He's
I believe in
childish.
science,
He's
Torrance.
childish,
Unlike you.
Torrance.
but because like obviously
I believe in healthcare.
you believe
For all.
in.
For
I
the
believe in
rich.
healthcare for all.
He believes in
for all.
healthcare for the rich.
I said for
Basically,
all.
is what he said.
You, Torrance, don't even believe in healthcare for
For
anyone.
Iron Man. For
Except
Iron
for
Man.
you.
That's what he said. That's who he resonates the most with.
Oh,
mean, it
first of all,
is-
Iron Man
it
tried.
is his line name.
He literally saved
I know. That's why I said
everybody.
Important.
Captain America, on the other hand, older white male, born during a very racist
Look, honestly,
time.
we need to have a
But
conversation
also
about him one
had-
day.
But
Captain
also
America also said,
had-
"I'm gonna snap my fingers and go back to when it was racist."
Exactly. He said, "I'm
He
gonna stay back
said-
here." He said, "I'm gonna
didn't
stay
say-
here."
He didn't
said,
say
"I
I'm gonna
like
stay.
it-
He said I'm
I
gonna
like
stay here
it
with my
back when the
love
niggers
of
couldn't
my
eat at my
life.
counter."
I'm gonna stay here with the love of my life because I
A white
love
woman
her.
who also was
and-
extremely racist.
Okay, well that's
by
also a white
default.
man, so of course he's gonna be with his white woman.
A woman.
He could have been interracial to your earlier point and had a great little mixed cow baby. All right, it's been episode 160 of the 9 to 5 podcast.
What
Thank you for
race do
listening.
you think I
God
am?
bless.
He's been calling you all kinds of racists this episode, and this is kind of my favorite.
I was Latinx. All right, come on.
Deuces.
Peace out, y'all.